Now, Battlefield. Let's get to the point with this one. One Battlefield content creator was banned from the game for 7 days. Another was kicked from the Insider program, where they speak to the developers and he accidentally leaked some info. Some of the communities in Battlefield were up in arms over both of these. The latter, however, was about adding squads, and to sum up, not able to kick people from that squad, and that information was leaked when it was directly from the developer. It was said in good faith, and then, of course, leaked online. Later, the content creator was then eventually kicked from the Insider program. The community then blamed the studio DICE. I'll read some of what was said. So after 10 years of creating videos on Battlefield franchise, I've just been kicked from the EA Creative Network for leaking this absolutely shocking statement that tells us nothing more than the reason behind what we already knew. I literally asked why we weren't getting an option to kick or lock squads, was provided an answer, and then got banned when they couldn't handle the negative feedback. To clear this up, you were banned because you leaked NDA information. I am sorry for any negative flack that Stratford received directly, as it was never his call, and that was an oversight to include his name, but it's not like he doesn't deliver the news all the time. Anyway, this is such a petty thing to kick somebody over. I just don't even... DICE are handling the negative feedback horribly and showing a side I don't like at all this week. I'm going to chime in on this one here. He did break NDA by accident. If he was truly cared, he would ask, hey, am I allowed to release this? A few of us have been in NDAs, and there's some information that through a studio, they give you a trust, and they go through that. They assume that you'll talk to them directly because that's what you want as a player. You want to talk to developers, and they want you to be open with them. And he didn't really give feedback. He just released. Is what I get from that. This comes off to me that more pointing fingers. Okay, one last quote from him. Ever notice how DICE expect us to give them a second chance after second chance, game after game, but they won't even give me one in 10 years? This is another thing, is that if you're giving feedback, give feedback. Stop complaining about it. End of story. A few other content creators then started building their content around this and calling it the huge drama between gamers and the studio DICE, but it was basically over after a week anyways, as figured, and everyone went back to gaming. Some are still talking about it, but in the end it didn't really matter. People are just gonna game. To be honest, they just want to hear their own voice. We all want to hear our own voice. It's just how it is. I will keep saying developers are in a very hard position, and it's hard for them to open up to gamers that want to give feedback because they see this often. If you know me, you know I'm very vocal about many things, but it's trying to understand on both fronts and trying to understand development as a whole and constantly learning. But when I see this, the reactions from gamers that don't fully understand, they really care more about their content overall than the game at sometimes. But in the end, we're all gamers. We can all give positive feedback, even negative. They need negative feedback. Remember, with negative feedback, you have to word it constructively where they will actually read it. I may do more of these videos. I'm just trying something unique. I prefer rather gaming than doing this, but I have fun doing this anyways. But send me feedback if you want to know. Thanks again for watching. Here's a few gameplay clips from Battlefield. Also, quick shout out to Halo Daycare for giving me this idea, and just me rambling on with my nonsense. Make sure you give them a follow, link in description.